What was the intro again? Hello, everybody. Wing Wong speaking. Welcome to another stream. I think I nailed that. No, I don't know. All right, early again. Big breakfast like 30 minutes ago. All right. What did I eat? Veggies and chicken. Straight up, just chicken in the air fryer. Salt and pepper that thing. That's basically it. And then some coleslaw, or just cabbage and carrots and yeah. Yep, that's pretty much all I ate today. All right, big meal. Ugh. Anyways, think today's gonna be a Subnautica today. Yeah, we did finish Dredge. It was a bit interesting. And for the Doom Eternal, I ain't got no comments yet, so we're not gonna bother with that today. We are gonna try Battlefield. I don't even have a plan today, to be honest. All I know is that we're doing some Subnautica. Some Subnautica. But before we go into gaming, y'all know the deal. Before we go into gaming, we do a little chilling at the beginning, just talking. What kind of any new horror games recently? What is I don't even want to know. Oh, apparently Water Park Simulator. I mean, hey, we saw it like a long time ago, but the thing is, when I look at Water Park Simulator, honestly, I'll be honest, I looked at some other streamer play it, and he's in the late game, and it looked pretty bad. I'ma be real. It's more of it's not very much management. It's more like very stressful. I mean, it looks like you can actually get quite large, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Definitely gonna take a long time. Oh, you can get employees. Oh, maybe, but again, it's early access. I'm thinking we will go to Water Park Simulator when the full release is out. Probably. I'm gonna be real for that one. When it fully comes out, probably. Is everything even loading? Am I even live? Even loading? Am I? I am live. Good. Horror. What kind of horror games are here today? I did drink coffee like a couple minutes ago, so yeah. Oh, last night's stream was a bit interesting, huh? I got tired. I know, right? It's weird. Every time when I stream and I'm kind of like dying. Family friendly games. Video Nots on sale again. I can't believe I got that game. I forgot how much I bought that game for. Not exactly sure. New and trending. Gear of War Reloaded. Dead Zone Rogue. What's this? Super New Blood. The Supper. It's a new horror game. So it's a new horror game. On the 27th. Today is the 28th. Yeah. Okay, what else is here? Pizza Bandit. Why is that $33? Hello? Okay. No, I'm good. I'm good. Cap. What? Some kind of horror game. What is this? Hells of Eyes of Hellfire. So there are some new games. Watertight. The submarine game. Death Sees Twice. Spot the Difference. Another anomaly game. Don't really play anomaly games, to be honest. Is there anything else? Zona. Fear Academy. Mm-hmm. Deep Line. Horror, stealth. There's not really too much. Tie-in is Legacy. Graveyard 404. Walking set. Wait, we looked at it. I don't even think there's any kind of. There aren't really any new horror games right now. Dude, my house is haunted. Uh-huh. We are streaming? We are streaming. Battery Farm. No, I'm good. Nah, there ain't really much today, I ain't gonna lie. Carnival? No. Yeah, there's none. There's none, chat. Nothing good. Yeah, no. No. Right, nothing that catches my interest compared to, you know, last time when we played at Haunted Room. That one was actually good. But besides that, though, everything else was pretty bad. Mind Control. Why does that look so cursed? Ocean Venus? Huh? Mirror. Don't know, man. I see no good horror games that really catch my interest, you know what I mean? Moonsteel. That Japanese horror one was actually kind of good, though. I will not lie. But besides that, though, I didn't really see anything else interesting. Any new simulator games that came out? Category? There's always new games coming out. Simulation? Hey, we are early as well. We're like 15 minutes before the usual time. So, we got some time. Learning Factory. Today's deals. Yeah, nah. What? That doesn't even look good. Satisfactory. F1. You know, I was looking at YouTube just before on people playing, people driving, and I was looking at car sim. No, like when I was thinking about doing that racing sim thing, right, dude? That hobby is expensive. My goodness me. I just wanted to go fast without getting a speeding ticket or going to jail. Gas Station Simulator, Jurassic World. It's gotta be a new one. Remember, we bought Parcel Simulator for like $0. Well, no, we bought it without any sales. It was like brand spanking new. You know what I mean? Water Park Simulator is high because Queso played it yesterday. I'm not interested in it. Return Outlet Simulator. No, the hypermarket did come out, but apparently it's like too laggy. Hold on. This looks new. Hold on, chat, look at this. Parisian Barry Simulator. Hold on, this came out 2 days ago. Let's have a look, shall we? Open for business. Oh, wait, this game kind of looks high quality. Hold on now. I ain't gonna. Wait a minute, chat. Look at this game. The music's fire. Holy moly, it's like an actual full restaurant. That's way cooler than what I usually know what to do. The takeaway is the style I do. Oh my goodness. Wait, we gotta get this game, no? Wait, we gotta get this game. 100% we gotta get this game. In a way. Ooh. This type of restaurant. I'm kinda digging that. I ain't gonna lie. What you guys think? No one's here. I'm not gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna be real. Cause that's like usually we do like takeaway and stuff, right? And it looks pretty high quality. It came out 2 days ago as well. Ooh, we might get there. What's this? This came out too. Candy Shop Sweet Stuff. Dude, these came out when we weren't even looking. Candy Shop Simulator. Let's have a look, shall we? It's so loud, but it looks kind of high quality too, I ain't gonna lie. This one looks a bit too simple, I ain't gonna lie. It looks a bit too simple. Candy Shop? Ain't no way. Oh, dude, that came out like 2 days ago. We gotta try that. I'm gonna definitely get that. What's this? Quantum Pulse 2A. Huh, huh, huh. Whisper from the Stars. AI, artificial intelligence. That looks so down bad. My goodness me. My goodness me, that looks very down bad. Very down bad. Car dealing simulator. This Grand Life. For a second I thought this looked good. But then when I looked at it, it was like, no, never mind. The Way of the Tray. Japanese restaurant simulator. 26. It's a bit too pixel style game, you know what I mean? Mega Factory Tycoon. Okay, no, that looks way too like, you know. One last clip. Stocks. Man, if you're gonna trade in real life, but it's not even worth it. You literally just bid a hodl. Tail Simulator. No. Did an Entree Simulator. Bakery Cafe Simulator. Huh. Grimia Medieval Startup. Split? What's that? Very complicated. Dove Days. Freefall. Oh, hold on. 26th of August. What is this? Trash Sorter Simulator. Okay. Kinda high quality. Oh, wow, that looks really exciting, huh? That looked really exciting. Waiting for food delivery simulator. Waiting for your food delivery simulator. What? Para's Leap. Exam. Challenging Land. Yo, what's up, Kevin? Remember me? Sure do. Lost Luminous. Rebound Simulator. WW. We're gonna do some horror reaction soon. We gotta watch that new Mr. Nightmare episode that we didn't do yesterday. Hey, chat, by the way, we're gonna definitely get that game. I'm not gonna lie. What is this? Woman Simulator? Oh, I'm cancelled. Clean Freak, Perfect Cook. What are you downloading? I haven't downloaded it. I haven't even bought the game. Chinese Frontiers? Not gonna lie, that would be kind of funny. We building the Great Wall of China. That'd be kind of funny as well. I ain't gonna lie. This game is $36. Hello. Build the Great Wall of China. Lead your village to glory in an immersive building and management simulator. Explore medieval China.
I know of too many myths and legends that speak of gods and heroes disguised as strangers, wandering the earth in search of virtue. What if you were one of them? Though you spoke little more of your past, I was certain your ancestors were once great builders themselves.
Jeez.
Work was only matched by the eagerness with which you studied your craft.
There's no way we build this all ourselves. Can I just be the warlord and get people to build it for me?
Task will take you to the far corners of China.
Bro, there's no way we... This guy built the entire town by himself.
Whatever happens, know that you make us proud.
God damn. Chat, this game $36 by the way. I bet it's from... It also looks like you need a beefy PC to run this game. No, not really. I'm good for that. I ain't gonna lie, I'm good for that. Yeah, I would just be the warlord and do it myself. Screen Station Simulator. Oh, by the way, chat, we're gonna actually download it. I might just buy the game right now, and while we wait for it to download, we can do some little Mr. Nightmare action. Hex Factory. No, I'm good. Oh, it looks new. Hold on. What's this? Hold on. Hex Factory. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm not sure if should I? It's kind of R18 though. Yeti Party. Apparently, it's like an R18 game, but I don't mind just putting the video at R18 restricted. You know, look at the little down bad, whatever it is. Suck and Blow Adventure. Hello? What the? Wait, this looks like high quality graphics. Hold on a minute. Suck. Blow. Take out the What is this game? It does pique my interest. Suck and Blow Adventure. August the 20th. The demo. Not just a cleaning game. It's cleaning with chaos and like battles and that kind of looks interesting. I'm gonna just add it to the. Should we get the demo? Might get the demo. Hold on now. There's a demo for me. We actually never played a demo before. I ain't gonna lie. We never played a demo before. It's a lot of new games. Not a dream job. Dun 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 dun. Hey! Get it? No. That's so damn bad. Click me harder. I can just say that out loud. Chat, it's nearly 3 minutes before we actually start. We're just chilling, you know? I want to play some. We're gonna play some Subnautica today. 100%. Milk Tea demo. Man. Well, what's that game we just looked at? Where is it? 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 Where's that game we were looking at just before? I lost it. No! Where was that game we were looking at just before? Where is it? Did I add it into the card already? Where'd I put it? No, you gotta be kidding me. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? We were looking at it just before. I'm gonna download. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it. Here it is. We're gonna buy this game, chat. Look at this. We're definitely gonna get this game. Oh, it's already in my cart. That's good to know. Appreciate it. Start a little barista thing. Man, that's $18 too. That's insane. That is insane. I'm gonna be real. But we're gonna get this game, chat. Let me do some Mr. Producering. $18? It don't matter if I do. That's as much as a Subnautica game. Oh well. Hey, we bought Parcel Simulator for like, you know, how much did I buy it for? Like $20-something. Where is it? I bought the game, right? I'm gonna install that. Yup. I'm gonna install that. Yup. Watch the bitrate go down. Yup. My bad, chat. The bitrate gonna go down, man. Bitrate's gonna go down. It is what it is. All right. Got everything ready. Right, ladies and gentlemen. My right is blocked somehow, even though I ate a big breakfast. Like, what? Hello? Oh, we're gonna do the demo. We're gonna do the simulator, and we're gonna do Subnautica Below Zero. Pretty much the plan today. Don't really have a plan. Anyways, my left ear, my right is blocked. That's actually why. Why? It is what it is. Alrighty, Mr. Nightmare. Oh, look, the games are downloaded. Beautiful. We're gonna try that demo game too. Mr. Nightmare, thank you. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know the drill. What was that one? Hidden camera story? Yeah, we did that yesterday. Alright. Let's have a look. Mr. Nightmare. Trespass, a horror story. Okay, we got hidden cameras. We might just do one video today because we're already 20 minutes in. Is there any other? Yeah, Mr. Nightmare is the best. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what else would there be besides True Summer Night. All right, lock in. Let's go. First video of the morning. 3 disturbing hidden camera horror stories. Lock in. Alrighty. Here we go. Lock. Okay. Story 1 by Gabe. Let's have a listen, shall we?
I was 22 when this happened.
So loud, wow.
At the time, I had just graduated college. I was.
Well, I missed the context already.
I was 22.
22 years
When
old.
this happens. At the time, I had just graduated college. I was between jobs and doing odd work around my small town, like babysitting, cleaning houses, running errands, basically anything that paid cash.
All right.
A woman I dog sat for in the past recommended me to a friend of her neighbors, a man named Craig. He called me one afternoon and explained he'd be traveling for a week and needed someone to stay in his house to look after his golden retriever, Max.
Okay.
He said Max was an anxious dog who did best with someone actually staying overnight rather than just coming by to feed him, and the pay he offered was a little more than usual, so I agreed. I met Craig 2 days later. He was in his late 40s,
Wow.
tall, wearing wire-rimmed glasses and a windbreaker. Nothing about him seemed strange at first.
Okay.
Maybe a little overly friendly, but not creepy.
40 years old.
His house was on the edge of town, tucked back in a wooded area.
GG. What do you mean by tucked in a wooden area? Wait, so how long is he staying there for?
a man named Craig. He called me one afternoon and explained he'd be traveling for a week and needed someone to stay in his house to look after his...
So he's staying for 1 week in a random house. 1 week in house. I'm gonna just keep that there so we know the context, because I do like narrating the stories with context.
Usual 40s, tall, wearing wire-rimmed glasses and a wind friendly, but not creepy. His house was on the edge of town.
Edge of town?
Like in a wooded area.
Wooded area. My ears are getting blocked. It is what it is.
The place itself was nice, but a little dated, like with beige carpets and floral curtains.
Okay.
Craig walked me through everything.
Yep.
How often to let Max out, where the spare key was, which fridge items I could use. He told me I could stay in the guest bedroom, which was right off the living room on the first floor. I started the job on a Monday. The first 2 nights were normal. I watched TV in the living room, then took Max on his evening walks, and then slept in the guest room with him curled up at the foot of the bed. It was the 3rd night when things went wrong.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I'd been sitting on the bed scrolling through my phone when I noticed something odd.
What?
On the dresser across from the bed, next to a small lamp, was a digital alarm clock. I remembered thinking it didn't match the rest of the room. It was newer looking, black plastic with a bright blue LED display, but everything else in the room looked like it belonged in the early 2000s. I don't know what made me look closer. Maybe it was the way the light from the lamp hit the front of it. But as I leaned in, I noticed a small, perfectly round black pinhole above the numbers. At first, I thought it was just a sensor, but then I noticed the angle. The tiny hole was pointed directly at the bed. My stomach dropped. I'd read stories about hidden cameras and alarm clocks before, but I'd never actually seen one in person. My mind started racing.
Discover
I
it.
picked it up, and it was heavier than I expected. There was a faint buzzing sound inside, like a tiny fan. I turned it toward me and stared right into the pinhole. That was when Max, who had been lying by the door, suddenly lifted his head and started whining. From somewhere else in the house, not the front door, but deeper inside, I heard the unmistakable sound of a door closing. Every hair on my body stood up. Craig wasn't supposed to be back until Sunday, and it was only Wednesday night. I froze, holding the clock in my hands, my heart pounding so hard it almost hurt. Then I heard slow footsteps on the hallway carpet. I quickly set the clock back down and moved to the door, locking it just as the footsteps stopped outside. Then Craig's voice came through, calm but slightly out of breath.
Craig?
He was saying he had left something in there the last time he was home and needed me to open the door. I couldn't speak. A moment later, he said it wasn't what I thought, claiming it was a motion sensor for the dog and that he hadn't wanted to freak me out by mentioning it. I backed away from the door, my hand over my mouth. He told me to come out and that we would talk like adults, but when I didn't respond, his knocking turned into pounding. He yelled at me to open the door, with his voice no longer calm, but sharp and angry. Max started barking and jumping at the door, which only made Craig sound more agitated. I glanced at the window, which was low enough to the ground to climb out.
Yeah, get out.
It was locked.
What?
So I fumbled with the hatch, my hand shaking so badly it took me 3 tries to open it. Behind me, Craig was still pounding, now shouting that if I didn't open the door, he would get the key to the room and call the cops and tell them I broke into his house.
Wow.
I didn't wait to hear more. I shoved the window open, climbed out awkwardly, and dropped onto the grass outside.
Yeah, then run.
Max scrambled after me, his nails clicking on the window ledge, but he ultimately gave up and didn't jump out.
Oh yeah, because it's his dog.
I ran through the side yard and down the gravel driveway until I reached the road. My phone was in my pocket and I called my mom, who lived 15 minutes away. I told her to come get me right now. By the time she pulled up, I was hiding behind a cluster of mailboxes. Craig's house was nowhere in sight from that spot, but I kept looking over my shoulder. I stayed at my mom's for the rest of the night. The next morning, I blocked Craig's number and called a lawyer. The lawyer said that without physical proof, like a recording of the camera or the device itself, pressing charges would be difficult. Even if the clock was a hidden camera, Craig could claim it was a harmless motion sensor, and without evidence, it would be my word against his. I wanted to go back and take a picture of it, but my lawyer strongly advised against returning to the house alone, and the idea of seeing Craig again made my skin crawl. So, nothing happened to him. I never got paid for the 3 nights I stayed there. The woman who had recommended me to him stopped responding to my messages.
It was a setup. What's up, Ghost bro? You gone.
And I never found out if she knew anything about him. For weeks afterward, I had nightmares about waking up to see a camera lens watching me from across the room. I started checking every clock, smoke detector, and picture frame in my own apartment, and I still think about that moment I looked into that little black lens and the sound of the door closing somewhere behind me in a house I thought was empty, which says to me he may have been in the house the whole time, watching me through that camera.
That I don't know what you do about that situation. I'm gonna be honest, cause it ain't even your house, bro. That's actually. Oh man, I don't know that situation's kind of. It's kind of. I have no idea how to deal with that situation, man. That situation's kind of I don't know. That's really, it's kind of like, you know, your job is to look after the house, right? Look after the dog, but the dude's inside the house the whole time. So you're telling me that this Craig dude was in like a basement area watching you through one camera the whole time? Definitely more than one camera, by the way. 100% there was more than one camera. He probably got the whole house surrounded in cameras. Yeah, I didn't even know. Bro, he probably just gooning over you, huh? Yep. Just in his basement, gooning to the CCTVs. What would you even do in that situation, bro? So confused. What would you do in that situation? Because you got scammed for like 2 days. What do you even do? You just stay in the house and do what? Bro, he recorded you and everything and watching you. Don't even know what you're doing in that situation. Chad, would you guys even stay in people's houses for you get paid to stay at someone's house? I mean, honestly, there's not too much context to the story because how do you spend 2 nights there without, wouldn't you like make sure the house, wouldn't you know the house is empty? Or like, would it, you know what I'm saying? Like that story, I don't even know how to make sense of that story, man. Craig's hiding somewhere. You only noticed the camera after 2 nights. What were you doing for the first 48 hours there? Wouldn't you know the layout? Wouldn't you know the dog? I'm very confused. Also, is that a female or male? Because it's a 40-year-old dude, so, and you're 22 years old. Wouldn't you like scrap him? And why did you just like get picked up by your mom and just go? You didn't even like call the police. You didn't even stay around. You just went home. Like, there's so many things missing, honestly. The whole situation seems like it's been a bit curated. I'm gonna be real. You know? Well, she ran away, hid in the mailbox, wait for her mom to pick her up. Wouldn't you like call the police and like wait for the police officer to come up and then walk to the house together? And I mean, that's probably like evil and stuff, but if you were there for 40 hours, you would at least scope out the house for all the valuables, right? No? So you'd like at least wait, what I mean by that? Not sure. All in all, situation's a bit weird. I'm gonna be real. You're not even gonna go try to get your money back or anything? Again, that's just a really weird story. 48 hours, you only notice the camera now. You're sleeping at the house too? And Craig's just been in there the whole time? I don't know, that story just doesn't make sense to me, chat. I'm gonna be real. It went too fast. Like, let's look at the ending real quick. It's just too fast. They ran away. They lost contact, but you know where they live now. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't like a forgot R.I.P. Right? You know, his house is still there. He's still there. You know what I mean? Like, next story, man. That just doesn't make sense. And my right ear is blocked. Actually, I'll be back real quick. My right ear blocked. That story again. Yo, what's on my right? My right is scuffed. All I know is that story is not the best story. It's kind of weird. Kind of feels like there's some extreme missing context there. Yeah, that's what it is. The story missing way too much context. Like, what you do for the first 48 hours in the house? What were you doing? And then why would you just leave with your mum without any other action? Like, you could go to the police, no? Don't you have, like, text with the guy? You could literally show the police proof. Hey, look, Craig texted me to do this job for him. Look at these text messages. He's right there. His house is right there. We know his location. Let's go talk to him right now. He's right there. He ain't going anywhere. And then also the grandma, right? The grandma that connected you with him, right? The old lady. You've been to her house too, so I don't understand. Like, you got so much advantages. You know where they live. If they don't know where you live, you know where they live. So you've got the clear upper hand. You know what I mean? Especially the grandma that recommended. Well, so she just stopped talking to you, but you could just arrive at their house, go to the grandma's front door. Hey, you know your friend? They had a camera there. You want to talk? Like, stand right in front of their door. What are they gonna do about it? Shoot you? You're right. L story, man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Next story. Again, first one, very, very, like, you know. Next. Story 2. It's kind of cold in here. What's wrong with the heater? Oh, we're good.
I booked the Airbnb in late September, a week before my girlfriend Emma and I planned to spend a few days visiting her sister in a small town about 3 hours from where we lived.
3 hours.
I picked it because it was cheap, close enough to her sister's place, had good reviews, and looked cozy in the listing photos. An old 2-story house with a wraparound porch, warm yellow lighting in the living room, hardwood floors that gave it a kind of storybook feeling, and one small detail in the description that I didn't think much of at the time, which was a note telling guests that the basement storage room was off limits. I'd stayed in places where the owners kept certain areas locked. It's pretty common for them to store personal belongings somewhere, so it barely registered as important. But when we pulled into the driveway just before sunset on the first evening, the place looked a little more weathered than in the photos, and there was something about the fact that it stood alone with only one other house in sight,
What?
a good distance away, surrounded by dark tree lines and a narrow road leading in, that it made me think twice. The host, Alan, was waiting for us on the porch before we'd even gotten out of the car. He was tall but slightly hunched, maybe in his late 50s, with gray hair neatly over his head. He was dressed in a perfectly pressed flannel shirt tucked into his jeans. He smiled, but it was the kind of smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. It made me think of Mr. Beast, a little too practiced. His eyes lingered on us just a bit too long when we shook hands, and though his voice was friendly enough, there was a subtle firmness to it when he began showing us around. He led us through the front door into a hallway that smelled faintly of dust and something sweet, almost like candle wax, though I didn't see any candles. The living room had a big couch.
Wait, so they got an Airbnb, right? For how long?
The kitchen looked clean but dated, and when we went upstairs, the single bedroom had a large bed under a ceiling fan and a small dresser with a mirror. Then, when he came back down, Alan stopped at a door near the kitchen and tapped a heavy padlock hanging from it. He told us in a more commanding tone that that door stayed locked, that it was his storage space, and that there was no reason for us to go down there for anything.
Alright.
He didn't
Yes, sir.
smile this time. He just moved on to point out where the extra towels were in the bathroom,
Uh-huh.
wishing us a pleasant stay and heading out the front door. After he left, Emma and I unpacked, made some tea, and sat outside on the porch for a while, listening to crickets and the occasional rustle of leaves in the trees. By the time we got into bed, the quiet was almost unnerving. No traffic, no distant voices, just pure silence. Sometime after midnight, I thought I heard a faint, dull thud from below us. I paused and listened for more, but it didn't come again, so I told myself it was probably the house settling. The next morning, we got breakfast in town, explored a few shops, and met up with Emma's sister for lunch. We stayed out until just after dark, then went back to the house to make dinner and watch a movie.
Uh-huh.
Around 2 in the morning, I woke up to use the bathroom.
Come home to HelloFresh, because nothing beats dinner time.
As I headed back toward the bedroom, I froze halfway up the stairs when I heard a dragging sound from the basement, like something heavy being pulled across a rough floor.
Oh.
It lasted maybe 5 seconds, stopped, and then started again. My first thought was that maybe Alan had come back for something, but he had told us he wouldn't be around at all during our stay. I stood there listening until it stopped, then went into the bedroom and asked Emma in a whisper if she was awake. She said she was, and that she heard it too. We stayed awake for another half hour, but the sound didn't return. The second night was worse. We'd spent the day hiking and were exhausted.
So, you heard that, and then the second day, what? Huh? Huh? I'm so confused. These stories are really confusing this time. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's going too fast. Look at this.
Heard it too.
2 a.m. Y'all hear something dragging in the basement, so you assume it's Ellen?
We stayed awake for another half hour, but the sound didn't return. The second night
The second night was worse. So what happened after that morning? Hello? I'm so confused. I'm really confused now. What? Why did context go so fast? Y'all don't even tell us what you did. 2 a.m. You hear someone dragging something down in the basement. And you and your girl awake, and you both hear it, so... And then you just skipped 18 hours and said the second night was worse. What did you do in between that time? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Why is this story so confusing?
was worse. We'd spent the day hiking and were exhausted, but sometime around 2:30 a.m., the noises started again. Not dragging this time, but footsteps. 4 or 5 in a row, then a pause, then 3 more. Each pause lasting long enough to make me think that whoever or whatever it was listening. Emma whispered that she thought she heard breathing between the steps. My heart was pounding, but I didn't want to get up and risk making a noise.
Why? You're in the house.
We just lay there, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling until morning. By the third morning, the atmosphere in the house felt different. We still went out and did tourist.
You still went out. Hell, I am so confused on these praise mindset. The first night should be like, kind of like, okay, someone's in the house, no? Second night, okay, you stayed awake all morning, and you know that there's someone in the house, but you went out to do touristy things. Wouldn't you, like, investigate? You're living in the house, bro. Wouldn't you, like, you know, call Alan? Yo, Alan. Are you in the house? You know? Or, like, at least tell Alan, hey. Yo, bro, there might be someone in the like, you know what I mean? You're just gonna ignore it twice and just go out and do touristy things?
Things, but whenever we came back, it was like a heaviness settled over the rooms. I decided to check the basement door during the day. It was still locked, but when I leaned closer, I thought I could smell something faint and unpleasant, like stale, damp air mixed with a hint of something sour. That night, the noises began
Or did you just skip straight to night? Do you have zero communication of Alan? Like, this is way... They're going too deep into the story already. Without barely in the context. Call Alan. Be like, yo, Alan. Something smells like crap in your basement. I've been hearing noise. Is that you? Come out. Come out of there. Also, if it's a padlock, how... If you stand... So, he's coming back whenever you leave. Because I was going to say if Alan's like in the basement, right? But how does that make sense if it's a padlock? Because Alan can't be in the basement. That's what I'm confused about. If you're hearing the noise, right? If you're hearing the noise in the basement, why don't you get out of bed and like look at the door? Because if it's a padlock, Alan can't lock the padlock if he's inside the basement. You know what I mean? Because if it's that kind of padlock that's the image showing, he can't lock it himself. It's going to be unlocked if he's in the basement or not. You know? If it's a padlock, he can't lock himself. If he's in the basement, he cannot. That padlock will be unlocked in.
Earlier, around midnight, first came a faint metallic clinking, like metal tapping against something hard. Then the footsteps again, going on and off for nearly an hour.
And you did it. What did you do? What'd you do?
Emma barely spoke to me before bed. The fourth night was the breaking point.
Yo, they skipping the... Am I tripping, chat? Or like, is this just like stupid prey mindset? The fourth night... This has been going on since night 1. Night 2. Night 3. Night 4. But what y'all doing in the daytime? Did y'all not see Ellen once? Y'all not inspect anything? Doesn't Ellen have like a car? Does the car come in and out? You know what I mean? Like, does Ellen own the other house and just walking around? Did y'all not even see Ellen once? Didn't even contact him? You just skipping the daytime. What? No daytime context. And just talking about the night times. And yet all you do at night is just lay in bed and just hear it. Without getting up, having a look. You know? No? You're not... How do you... It's already the fourth night. Look at this.
Emma barely spoke to me before bed. The fourth night was...
They just skipped the whole entire day. Like 20-something hours. The fourth night was the breaking point. What'd you do on the third night? What'd you do on the second...
The breaking point. While getting ready for bed, Emma stopped brushing her hair and asked me if the smoke detector above the bed looked strange. At first, I didn't see it, but when I stood on the bed to get a closer look, I saw a small, perfectly round black dot in the middle that was shinier than the surrounding plastic. A bad feeling hit me immediately. I grabbed a chair, unscrewed the detector, and inside was a small battery-operated camera with its green light on. Emma sat on the bed pale and silent, while I searched the rest of the room and found another small lens poking through a hole in the wall near the dresser mirror, both aimed directly at the bed.
Uh-huh.
That was the end of it. We shoved our stuff into our bags.
Oh. Okay, so now that's the breaking point.
Bothering to fold anything, and we left the house without speaking to the host, driving to the nearest gas station to call...
You guys didn't even speak to the host at all.
Call the police. 2 officers met us there. We explained everything, the noises, the cameras, the locked basement, and they followed us back to the house.
Okay.
The front door was unlocked. Technically, we were still allowed in the place, as we paid for 4 days. The police followed us inside and seized all the evidence, including the cameras, I assume the memory cards, and any recording equipment they could find. They also took our statement in detail, asking if any strange events took place during our stay. That's when we mentioned hearing weird noises both nights from the basement. When we showed them the basement door, we were shocked to see that it was now wide open, but it was pitch
Did y'all even check the basement door on the first other nights?
black down there. We told them that this door was locked before, and that the host was very sketchy about not going down there. So the officers went down the stairs to investigate.
And then he got killed.
Later, we heard voices, raised voices,
Hands
There
up!
had a commotion going on down there, and it quickly became clear what was happening. The officers then called us down and asked if this was the host, and to our horror, it was Alan.
Yeah.
He was apparently hiding in a closet in the basement. In this closet was a monitor, which we could only guess was being fed the footage from the basement. The police seized this as well. Alan was placed under arrest almost immediately, and he was charged criminally by the state for criminal trespass and invasion of privacy. We didn't have to testify in court or anything. The police just sent our statements to the prosecutor, I believe. Airbnb basically bribed us with a voucher in hopes that we wouldn't share our bad experience. We took the voucher, obviously, but that hasn't stopped us from telling people about this horrific experience. It's really been something that's
Yo. He be Alan trying to get some spicy footage. That's what they're doing, huh? Right? You know, couple, 4 days in the house alone, or alone. The camera's facing the bed. Obviously, he is expecting some spicy footage. And he's probably gooning over it. Nah, like I said, these two are prey. Because, like, why does it take you that long to notice, not inspect? And, like, I mean, W Police, though, of course, you know, they wrapped it up quite nicely. But, like I said about my theory, that if Alan's in the basement door would be unlocked because he can't lock himself in. So if they just checked like one night, if they heard the noise that first night and had a look, right? That'd be good to go. This story sucks.
had a lasting effect on Emma and I. We don't trust rentals or Airbnbs anymore, and lately just stick to hotels.
Ha, buddy. Hotels do the same thing, mate. Hotels do the same thing. There's always a camera somewhere. And the worst thing about hotels is the goon is deeper down in the hotel building with like a long ass LAN cable from your room. Yeah, like hotels. Yeah, it is what it is. He's a trash.
My name is Joe, and this happened about a week ago.
Joe?
I live in a 2-bedroom apartment with my roommate Eric.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know him before moving in. We met through a Facebook housing group.
Uh-huh.
He seemed normal enough when we first met to check the place out.
Alright.
He was quiet, polite, and kind of awkward, but not really in a bad way.
Roommate.
At the time, I thought that would be a good thing because I wasn't looking for a best friend, just someone responsible enough to help pay rent and not trash the place. For the first couple of months, it was fine. We had opposite work schedules. I worked a regular 9-to-5 office job, and he worked at some warehouse on the late shift.
Okay.
Because of that, I barely saw him. Most of the time when I was leaving in the morning, his door would be shut, and at night when I came home, he was usually gone. We'd cross paths once or twice a week, usually just exchanging a few words in the kitchen or living room.
Okay.
Nothing special.
Hard workers.
Then I started noticing little things in my room that made me feel off. The first time it happened,
what you mean?
I came home late and saw that my closet door was open.
What?
I usually keep it closed because I don't like...
Wouldn't you have like a lock on your door? If you have a roommate that you don't speak too much, wouldn't you have a lock on your door? No? You wouldn't have a lock on your door? So your door's just unlocked? Like, regardless, you would have a lock on your door, no? Because what if Eric brought a mate over? Your door's unlocked, so when you're gone, and Eric brought over a friend, the friend might be random and just look in your room, and your room's just wide open, unlocked. You're not gonna get that door or nothing. You're not gonna get door lock. Like, you don't even need a door lock. What, like, replace the handle. You've been there for 2 months already, mate. You would have a... You know what I mean? You would have... What is that? Wouldn't you have one of these installed? Hey, drop shipping. I mean, drop shipping product here, but wouldn't you just install one of these bad boys? They're not hard. Or like, install some kind of like lock, you know? Like, I don't think I understand, but replacing a lock on your door is not that hard. You just unscrew these and then it all pops out. You know what I mean? Or at least have like a padlock or something, you know? Just like lock your door. And make sure they don't have a copy of your key. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you have your door? I mean, yeah, have your door locked. Hello? You would just have a door lock. Just watch here. Don't give me an ad, I swear if you give me an ad. Yeah, look, unscrew that bad boy. You know, you don't even need an electric one, you just get a new one. You know, boom, boom,
Batteries are inserted in the lock times.
boom.
The light goes out when it's
Yeah, just make. If I was ever with a roommate situation, obviously have a door lock. Okay. So one mistake, he didn't have a door lock.
Seen my clothes sticking out, but I figured maybe I had left it that way that morning. A few days later, I noticed my desk chair turned slightly toward the bed. I never sit in it that way.
Also, wouldn't you have like a camera in your room? Like a security camera in your room? Where's your security camera in your room?
Again, I brushed it off and thought maybe I was just not paying attention. Still, it put a strange feeling in my stomach, like somebody had been in my room. One Saturday morning, I was cleaning. I wiped the shelves.
I really don't like these stories because these stories skip so many days of context. Like, bro, what have you been doing on all those days? It's hard to understand these stories when it's like Monday, this happened that day. Oh, and then on Thursday this happened, and then Sunday that happened. I'm like, what? You skipped like 2 days in a row. What did you do? What? You didn't even talk to him or nothing? Just
did and then started on the window. That's when I saw it. Up in the corner, where the wall met the ceiling, there was this little black dot. I thought it was maybe a screw or a hole in the wall, but when I got closer, I froze. It was a tiny camera, a small wireless camera pointed straight at my bed. My hand shook as I pulled it off the wall. It wasn't even hidden well, just stuck with a little piece of adhesive. It had a spot for a memory card, but the card was missing. I just stood there holding it, feeling sick. I thought about all the nights I had been in here sleeping, changing clothes, even being intimate with women.
what?
The only person who could have put it there was Eric. He was the only other one with access to my room. At that moment, he wasn't home. His door was closed and the apartment was quiet. I stood in the hallway, staring at his door, with my heart pounding. I told myself not to do it, but curiosity won. I slowly turned his doorknob and opened it.
He was there.
His room smelled stale, like old food and dirty laundry.
He'd been gooning in there.
Blinds were shut, and the room was dark, even though it was the middle of the day. His bed was unmade, and his desk was cluttered with papers, unopened mail. I searched around a little, half expecting to find another camera or maybe recordings on his laptop, but there was nothing obvious. Just a messy room. I closed the door and went back to my room, but I couldn't get rid of the uneasiness.
What?
I decided to test him.
Huh?
I put the camera in my nightstand drawer under some socks. My plan was simple. If he came looking for it, then I'd know for sure it was him who planted it.
What do you mean by you want to test him? What you mean by that? What do you mean by you're gonna test him by putting the camera away? You should just get out of there, no?
For 2 nights, nothing happened. I still felt
You see, that's why I don't like these stories anymore. I'm pissed.
for sure it was him who planted it. For 2 nights, nothing.
For 2 nights, nothing happened. So, what? Zero action taken, huh? Not even installing a lock on your door. not even talking to. Okay, so maybe if you didn't even see him, you for 2 days, 2 nights, you got 48 hours. You done nothing about it ever since finding that camera. You just put it in your drawer and then just continue your normal 9 to 5 brokey mindset. Not even taking action. Not even installing a door. Not even installing a security camera in your own room. You could just install a security camera in your own room. Hello? Like, you 2 nights, 2 nights, nothing happened. What did you do in those 48 hours? You took zero action. You just found a camera. It's like, oh, this is just a camera. I'm gonna put it in a drawer and test out if my roommates spy on me or not. Who else would?
Happened. I still felt tense, but since there weren't any signs, I started to think that maybe I was overthinking the whole thing.
But you still have the camera. You still have that physical camera. Who put it there? You don't even care.
Then came the third night. I woke up at around 3 in the morning. At first, I wasn't sure why, but then I heard a noise. It was soft, like wood sliding against wood. Then I realized it was coming from right beside me, from my nightstand drawer. I opened my eyes a little, pretending to still be asleep. In the faint light coming through the blinds, I saw a figure. It was Eric. He was standing in my room, bent over my nightstand, rummaging through the drawer where I had hidden the camera. I felt my chest tighten and my heart beat so loud
Just
I was
wake.
sure he could
Just
hear it.
wake up and
I stayed still, not knowing what to do.
just wake up and say hi.
He froze and just stood there, completely still. Slowly, he turned his head toward my bed. He was looking straight at me. For a moment, I thought maybe he wasn't sure if I was awake.
He knows you're
He
awake.
spoke.
I'm sorry.
He said he knew I was awake. I felt ice run down my spine as he said that.
Okay.
Then he asked me what I had done with it. I sat up quickly, my fear turning to anger. I demanded to know why he put a camera in my room. He stared at me and told me it was because he thought I was stealing from him.
I don't know. Is that valid? No, that's not. That's not valid because if he was really stealing stuff, Eric, if he's stealing stuff from your room, put a camera in your. Why don't you guys just have cameras in your own room?
I told him that was ridiculous, that it made no sense. I
Yeah.
said he had aimed the camera at my bed and that it was one of the most sickest things I've ever seen. He tried to tell me he only wanted proof, but I didn't buy it.
Y'all both weird.
I told him he was lying, that he had been spying on me. We started yelling at each other. He kept repeating that I was overreacting. I told him I was going to report him to the landlord and maybe even the police. My voice was shaking with both fear and rage. Finally, I yanked open the drawer, grabbed the camera, and held it up. I told him that this was proof and that he was never getting it back. I stormed out of my room, walked into the kitchen, and threw the camera straight into the garbage.
What? 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 I got proof! And he throws it in the bin. What? Huh? Am I the only one that's just like, what is this dude on about?
Thinking I broke it. I told him to stay out of my room and that the next day I would be telling the landlord everything. Eric stood in the hallway with his fists clenched, and he was just staring at me with a blank expression. Then he turned and walked back into his room without another word. I didn't sleep the rest of that night. I sat on the couch with the TV on, too afraid.
Chat, I'm so just like lost behind. What is this dude doing?
He might come back into my room. Every little sound in the apartment made me jump. When the sun finally came up, I checked the garbage can. The camera was gone. That was a week ago. I told the landlord what happened. He said he would look into it, but so far nothing has been done. Eric still lives.
A week has passed now. A week has passed now. And you still living with Eric? No, this entire video is like this sucks. Huh? This happened a week ago. He's still living with me.
Here. We don't speak, but the way he looks at me when we pass each other makes my skin crawl. It's like he's waiting for me to say or do something. I don't know why he really put the camera in my room. His excuse about me stealing was an obvious lie. I don't know what he wanted to record or what he was planning to do with it, and honestly, I don't want to know. But every night when I lay down in bed, I can't shake the feeling that there are more cameras hidden around me. Maybe in places I wouldn't think to check.
This guy...
I scoured the entire room and couldn't find...
Why don't you just install a lock on your room? So you found a camera, you confronted him about it. It's been a week, it's been like... And you still haven't even installed a lock on your door? You haven't even bothered doing anything else? You didn't even bother moving out or finding a new place to go? You that broke?
Any, but still, the thought does linger in my mind. Last night, I was awake late and heard footsteps come down the hallway and then stopped right outside my door. For over a minute, there was silence, except for slight cracks in the wood floor outside my door from the pressure of him standing there. He stood there like a creep for a couple of minutes until I finally heard his footsteps move away from the door. I'm looking into moving out. I'm also trying
Oh, now you're looking to move out.
to figure out if pressing charges for invasion of privacy or something is feasible, considering I didn't even think to take a picture of the camera or record the confrontation or anything. I don't even have any texts from him admitting to placing the camera there.
And you didn't install a lock, and you didn't have a camera of your own, and you have no evidence, and you're just yapping away. This video is so bad. I mean, not the video, but the stories inside it. Dude, this entire video sucks. Holy moly, everyone in here is just brain dumb like stupid. Let's look at the comments. I bet everyone else has the same opinion as me, right? The guy in the last story was speedrunning the worst decisions anyone could make in a situation. Threw away the evidence, didn't call the cops, still living there, even after the guy continues to do creepy stuff. Bro has a death, yeah, for real. This camera's proof, throws in the trash. Yeah, like what? Second story was so satisfying. Okay. If only the guy in the last story was smart enough to preserve the camera instead of trashing it for no reason. It's not... The guy in the third story is a certified idiot. Yeah. My name is Joe, and this happened about a week ago. Last story, he literally chucked the only evidence he had into the bin. Then he checked it when the sun came out. Dude in the third story still thinking of moving. Like, what? Yeah, the third guy is just an actual dumbass. I'm so confused. And he's still staying there too. Must be a 9 to 5 mindset. Alright. That was true hidden camera stories. Honestly, none of them are good. Maybe the second one has justice. The third one's just an absolute, like, prey. Like, he's literally born to be prey because he ain't got no smart mindset. He's just like, oh, found a camera. Oh, I'm gonna stay here. You know? It was a cheaper rent over here, even though I've got a roommate who's absolutely creepy and... yeah, and then the first one, what was the first one again? Yeah, taking random Craigslist jobs, GG. Man, that was pretty I ain't gonna lie. Alright. I mean, again, Mr. Nightmare's the GOAT. It's the story, it's the people that write the stories that are dumb ones. W Mr. Nightmare, hey. It is what it is. Next video, 24 minutes, lock in. It is Summer Night Horrors. Did I see this already? I don't even know. Lock in. Lock in. Alright. Story 1, let's go. Chris is the dude.
My name is Chris. This happened years ago, and it's something I actually forgot about until recently. I was 17 that summer.
17.
At a pizza place on the outskirts of my childhood hometown. I wasn't thrilled with it, but with no money and two parents who would have killed me for being unemployed, I couldn't complain. It was one of those jobs you take because nothing else is hiring. Slow shifts, sticky uniforms, and a beat-up delivery car that barely made it up hills. At least I didn't have to drive my own car. That would have sucked. Oh yeah, not that this is super relevant, but I do want to mention that the pizza was god-awful, like genuinely terrible. I couldn't understand, actually I still don't understand, why anyone in their right mind would order from that spot. If not for the technology and relatively nice atmosphere it provided, I honest to God don't think we ever would have gotten a single order. That place is definitely the thing I missed the least about my childhood hometown, and that's saying something.
Are you looking for a high absorption magnesium?
Then try Hal3's Magnesium Complex 800
The one saving grace about working there was that because the pizza was so bad, or because the place itself was so far away from our downtown, or maybe a combination of the two, people rarely ordered from us, so most nights were dead quiet. I'm not going to bore you with the mundane details about how my nights typically unfolded. It was a pizza place. I'm sure you could fill in the blanks yourself. One night, I was restocking the fridge with drinks when the tablet buzzed with an online order. Large sausage and olive pizza.
Okay.
I remember that distinctly because we never got olives. The address was out in the middle of nowhere,
Ooh.
past the edge of our delivery zone, and I remember getting ready to reject it out of habit. But before I could, my manager, this 30-something guy named Russell, who mostly sat in the back scrolling through Reddit, looked over and told me to take it, saying we hadn't had a single run in over an hour. I didn't argue, so when the pizza was ready, I typed in the directions on my phone and grabbed the pie. At least it would kill 30 or 40 minutes. As I was about to leave
30, 40 minutes?
the car, I looked a little more carefully at the delivery instructions Russell had printed and stapled to the box, which I hadn't paid attention to until then. They said, and I remember this word for word, park on the street behind the house, walk through the backyard.
That's already a major red flag. Walk through the backyard?
Knock on the back door only.
Wait, is this the actual photo or is it AI? It's AI.
That caught my attention a bit, but my 17-year-old brain thought of several rational reasons why someone might not want me to use the front door.
Why? I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't use the front door. Park on the back street behind the house. Go through the backyard and knock on the back door only. No. No, I'm not going through your backyard. I ain't gonna click on your back door either. I'm gonna park in the front of the door. Go to the front door. Knock on your door and have the pizza for you. I ain't gonna follow that instruction. No rational person would follow that instruction. No one would do that. Well, it depends on the house, of course. It does depend on the house, but at the same time, no. Why would you follow that order? And what if you don't follow that order? What if you don't? What are they gonna do about it? You got the pizza, you know, and it's like, it's not your business either. You're just an employee. You just go, oh, I didn't read the instruction properly, but here's your pizza. At least try the front door first. If no one answers, then just say to your boss he wasn't there. I don't know.
Maybe they didn't want to wake an old person or a young child in the house.
That doesn't make any
The
sense.
front door of their house was being renovated. Maybe they wanted to hide the delivery from a parent or spouse. It really could have been any number of things. Plus, all I could think about was how slow the night was, and how much longer it was gonna feel if I sat around folding boxes. So I just decided to do my job. But the second I stepped outside, I started having second thoughts. It was one of those summer nights that felt like walking through soup, hot, humid, and completely still, like even the air was stuck in some kind of invisible jelly. I don't know if this will make sense, but there's the stale, sour smell you get when it's really humid and still out. Sort of like old plastic and sun-baked dirt. That's what it smelled like out there. I hate that smell more than anything, but it was unavoidable. I had the windows down for maybe 2 minutes before giving up and blasting the AC.
Okay.
The delivery address wasn't in the direction of downtown, It was actually in the exact opposite direction, even though the pizza place itself was already kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
The
Okay.
drive was supposed to take just over 25 minutes.
Wow.
But it felt longer because of how empty the roads were.
You would go faster.
Definitely exaggerating a bit.
Yeah, you are.
There were no houses for miles, but it was much less dense the further I drove. When I finally got to the address,
Yep.
I realized I was coming up behind the house. The GPS had routed me along the skinny little side street that ran parallel to a set of backyards. There weren't any street lights, and the houses didn't have back porch lights either. It was all shadows. I remember slowing down and double-checking the house number because it looked totally dead. There were no lights inside and no cars in the driveway, just this sagging backyard with overgrown grass and a rickety wooden fence that didn't even close all the way.
Okay, so just don't go in there then. There's like a bunch of red flags you just named out. Overgrown grass, no lights. You know what I mean? And also, by the way, when you order pizza delivery, you don't even need to type in the address you live in. You can literally type in a random address and the delivery person will still go there. GG. If he's an idiot if he actually he's gonna go in there.
But still, I followed the instructions. I parked right there on the gravel shoulder, grabbed the pizza, and walked up the incline toward the back door. I had the pizza in one hand and my flashlight in the other, angling.
You need a flashlight? Buddy, that's you gone too far. Hey, if you need a flashlight to deliver pizza, going through someone's backyard, well, I gotta follow my instructions for the job.
Down toward my feet so I wouldn't trip on anything. When I got to the top of the hill, I saw the back door.
Top of the hill? What kind of place is he delivering it to? Is it? What do you mean by reach the top of the hill? What is this guy on about? What has he been?
It was one of those old white ones with a small pane of glass at the top covered by a cheap curtain. I knocked and waited, but no one answered. I knocked a second time, knowing that my manager would be livid if I returned to the store empty-handed.
It doesn't. I don't think a manager would really.
After no response, I was about to knock a third time when I saw the curtain move. Not a lot, just this tiny little twitch, like someone brushed it with their finger. It was fast, and I don't think I would have even noticed if I hadn't been staring at the glass.
Hello, pizza.
I stood there for another few seconds,
Pizza.
expecting the person who was clearly standing right behind the door to finally open up.
Pizza.
But before that happened, I noticed two unmarked cars pull up to the side street behind my car.
GG.
My first thought was that I was about to get in trouble for trespassing or something. One of the car doors opened, and someone stepped out. Even from the house, I could make out that it was a man in the light of the other car's headlights. The guy motioned for me to walk over to him, which is what I did, assuming that he had ordered the pizza and that I had beaten him home from work or something. But as I got closer, I realized he was flashing me something in his hand. It was a badge. The guy was an undercover police officer, which I was able to ascertain because he wasn't wearing a uniform, just normal clothes. As soon as I got within a certain distance of him, he told me to head back to my car and wait there. That was it. That's all he said. So I did. I backed away slowly, climbed into the delivery car, and sat there watching. That's when I realized there weren't just two officers. There were 5, maybe more.
Whoa, what?
All of them had flashlights, but none of them said a word. They moved stealthily, circling the house like they were trying not to be seen. Not one of them knocked or announced their presence, which I found strange. It was a pretty bizarre sight. I remember when...
That's crazy. Well, just imagine if. Oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, RIP the delivery guy, but that'd be kind of big brain though. Imagine you got a suspect in the house, and the police was the one that ordered the delivery. Hey, can I please have an online delivery to this house, please? We're gonna use one of your delivery drivers as bait. Don't tell them that though. They use the delivery driver as bait. GG. That's funny.
Officers reaching for the back door handle, the same one I had just knocked on, and gently trying it. When it didn't open, he just nodded at one of the other guys and backed off. It felt like I was watching something I wasn't supposed to see, and I guess I was. Eventually, the first officer came back to my car and crouched beside the window. I rolled it down, and he looked over the pizza box on the passenger seat and let out this short sigh. He was relatively vague with what he told me, but he didn't seem like a tool, just that he was trying not to say too much. Basically, he said that there was an ongoing investigation involving that property, and that he, along with the rest of the officers, were staking it out. He apologized for taking so long to intervene, and told me that I had pulled up the exact time they were repositioning their vehicles. I asked if he wanted to see the delivery order, and he nodded. I pulled it up on the delivery app, but I could tell it was useless. There was an associated phone number with the order, along with the delivery address and the first name, Jerry, but it didn't seem particularly helpful. The officer read it, took the number down, then told me to leave immediately. I expressed my frustration to him, saying that my boss was going to kill me for returning
Your boss ain't gonna do anything, bro. You can literally just, huh?
the pizza, and the guy just shrugged his shoulders.
Yeah, we
He
can.
repeated his instruction for me to leave, and started walking away from the car. I was pissed, but there was nothing
Why
I
would you be
I
pissed?
drove off. It took me the entire ride back for the whole thing to sink in. I didn't really grasp the gravity of the situation until stepping out of the car. If the police hadn't intervened when they did, something awful could have happened. I don't even know what. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that the threat of the police was probably the only reason the person didn't open the door to accept the pizza. But why would someone order a pizza if they were being staked out? Maybe the person inside the house didn't know they were being watched. Or maybe they did, and I was part of some test run. Like maybe I was the bait to see if the cops were watching that side of the house. Or if they left. The curtain moving, the silence, the timing, I don't know. What I do know is that I will never get an explanation for what happens, and thinking back to this incident is mostly a waste of time. I probably would have forgotten all about this if one of my high school friends hadn't brought it up the other week. I didn't even remember it at first. It's probably best I forget about it again. But I figured I'd share it here before that happens.
That's it. That's it. I got these stars are kind of mid, man. Let me guess. The guy who's ordering pizza has been doing it multiple times with other people. People going missing or something. Yeah, 100%. That he wasn't the first pizza guy there. The other pizza guy from a different company died or went missing. He's just lucky that that night was the police to have a look, and so obviously that guy who's ordering things to the house that's not his first time doing it. Some poor other, not poor because they deserve it. Honestly, if you're a delivery driver or any rational human being that falls for that situation, you honestly deserve it. So I really have no sympathy for you. So obviously that person in the house has definitely done it before to previous victims. Okay, probably kidnapped some people, probably killed them, probably gone missing. The police tracked it down and said, "Okay, so what would be a good example? Your Uber Eats driver last location was right in this address. He gone missing for a day now. You know, and then obviously the guy in the house he's still doing it, and then just in time the police there to investigate why that other delivery driver was missing in there, and like the 17-year-old is just dumb anyways. The fact that you need a flashlight to go into the like common sense. Hello? Next. Man, that was pretty bad. And the story writer himself sounds like he ain't even care anyways.
This happened just last year.
Lachlan?
Currency exchange rates,
What's he doing in that?
airport lounge passes.
I'm 40 now, married with 2 boys, ages 7 and 5.
Okay.
I work in insurance, which
Yep.
sounds boring because it is. But we're stable, and that's all I care about at this point in life.
40 years old? Alright.
A couple years ago, my dad passed away after a long bout with cancer. He
R.I.P.
left behind a beach house down in Delaware that I had never been to before because he used to rent it out year-round. It's nothing flashy or big, but it's in a fantastic spot, just 1 block off the boardwalk. My
Damn.
favorite part about it by far is the upstairs back deck that provides a really nice view of the ocean. We started
Damn.
going there every summer after he passed, using it as our escape. A week here, weekend there, it became our little family tradition. As much as my wife and I love spending time there, the The boys love it even more. They'll spend hours on end playing on the beach, riding bikes, and exploring the town.
Damn, W Dad.
Feels like a gift, something my dad left behind for us to enjoy. This
Okay.
story takes place during one of those weeks last summer.
Okay.
We'd gone down in mid-July, a Sunday through Friday kind of thing, when the crowds would thin out midweek and the beach was a little quieter. I remember the night clearly. It was a Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
The boys had knocked out around 9:30 after a long day in the sun, and my wife and I were sitting on the back deck playing cards and sipping wine. That's when our older son, Jordan, came outside. He had this uneasy look on his face. He told me he kept hearing a scratching noise in his room, and it was keeping him awake. I glanced at my wife, then set my glass down and stood up, telling him I'd go check it out. I told
W
my wife
Dad.
to hang tight. I figured it was probably just generic house sounds. It is a pretty old house after all.
And the kid's like 7 years
The
old.
boys don't share a room, so I figured there was no need to wake our younger one. I followed Jordan downstairs to his room, and he pointed to the wall near his bed and motioned for me to be quiet. We both stood there for a while, and I didn't hear anything at first, but I didn't want him to think I didn't believe him, so I stood there a little while longer. After maybe 20 seconds, I finally heard it. Faint at first, but definitely there.
Little raccoon.
Soft scratching sound, just like he had described.
Little raccoon.
I crouched down and pressed my ear to the wall. It didn't sound like an animal up in the rafters or anything. It sounded like it was coming from inside the wall, lower down and closer to the baseboards. That's when I heard it. Breathing.
What?
Not an animal, definitely not.
Huh?
It was deep, slow, human breathing. I flinched back
Get the gun.
without a sharp Jesus Christ, without even meaning to. And then, I'm not kidding about this, I heard the most guttural and angry scream I've ever heard ring out from somewhere inside the wall. It caught me so off guard that I yelled out again, a feeling of existential dread hitting me right in the face.
Get the gun.
I grabbed Jordan by the arm and yanked him out of the room. We ran down the hall to get my younger son, Scott, who was still sound asleep. I didn't even give him a chance to open his eyes. I just scooped him up in my arms and ran. I needed to get back upstairs to the deck where my wife was. That was the only other thing on my mind at that point. As we reached the base of the stairs, I yelled for her, and then I heard another scream come from somewhere behind me, only much closer this time.
Yo.
I turned around and saw a man covered in filth charging down the hallway straight at us.
What?
I nearly tripped trying to get up the stairs with both my sons, but we made it upstairs and onto the deck just
Fight
in
him.
time.
Fight him.
Not 2 seconds after I slammed the
Gotta protect your family.
shut, the guy hit the glass full force.
What? Oh
I
my.
genuinely thought it would shatter. He started clawing at the door like an animal, shrieking and pounding. All
Beat
the
him up.
while Yelling things I can't bring myself to repeat. I threw my body against the door and yelled at my wife to grab the kids and call the police. She grabbed them and covered their ears, pulling them back from the scene. I kept my eyes on his, trying to block the view of him from my family. He was wild, completely unhinged. His hands smeared something. Dirt, blood, I don't even know.
Oh my
Smeared
goodness.
it across the glass as he banged and tried to force the door open. I don't know how long I held it shut. A minute, 5, it felt like forever. He seemingly had unlimited energy, because it took all my strength to keep that door shut, and he didn't let up once.
Crackhead.
All I could think about was protecting my family.
Facts.
I was fully prepared to fight the guy if the glass broke.
Hell yeah.
Before that happens, the police finally showed up. They must have come around the side, because within seconds, I saw 2 officers inside the house running at the guy who was still banging on the door. One of the officers tackled him from behind,
Die.
and the other one helped restrain him.
Okay.
The rest of the night was a blur. After getting that guy out of my house and in the back of a police car, the officers asked me for my version of things, which I told them. Together, the 3 of us inspected the house to try and assess how that man had been inside the walls and how
Okay.
he had gotten out so quickly. Turns out, the house has a crawl space I didn't know about. There's an entrance underneath the back porch that you wouldn't know was there unless you were looking. From there, it leads into a standing crawl space that runs alongside the foundation and has a second access point through a loose panel in Jordan's closet. I had no idea it was there.
Yeah, probably because you don't stay at a house 24/7. You only visit it like once a week. So obviously the people living around are opportunists. So when your family leaves the holiday house, your house is like no one's there for like 6 straight days. And obviously the homeless people or the crackheads will use it as a little drug den or something while you're gone. So they set this all up without you knowing, because you ain't living in there. You got no one looking after it. You got no CCTV, dumbass. So obviously, the holiday home, the opportunists take over once you're gone. Yeah. Where's your CCTV anyways? Hello? Where's your cameras and like... Yeah. Where your cameras at? Leaving an unabandoned house like that? Especially since it's so nice as well, near the beach.
I'd never done a full inspection of the house when I'd inherited it. Hell, I didn't even bother refinishing it.
Wow.
A few days later, I got more information from a detective who called to follow up. He told me the perpetrator admitted that he'd been staying in the crawlspace for months, that he had discovered the crawlspace entrance during the off-season, and was planning to harm my family that night for intruding on his, quote, new home.
Yep.
Apparently, the guy had been stealing food from both our house, which we somehow did notice, and our neighbor's trash bins. We didn't go back for the rest of the summer.
Why?
Not out of fear of something else happening, but out of trauma. I didn't want to bring my wife or kids back there for a while, and they didn't object. I hired a crew to seal off the crawl space completely.
Yep.
And once
Smart.
that was done, I was finally able to relax a little. We've been using the house again this summer, and I'm glad to say that things are back to normal. Or at least as close to it as we're gonna get.
I told you, hey, that story's pretty good, but I mean, inherit house, you kind of barely not care much about it, and then, you know, it is what it is. Alright, that story was actually decent. Sounds pretty real to me. You know, makes sense. It's a holiday house, you inherited it, you didn't bother checking it, you know? The fact that you only lived there once a week means that, you know, if someone's going to take advantage of when you're gone. And obviously a crackhead owned the underneath of it. He lives there 7 days a week. You live there once a week. So obviously the crackhead thinks that's his. He doesn't know, yeah. I mean, hey, it is what it is. How do you not notice that you're food stealing? That must be rich. Yeah, they probably are.
I grew up in a kind of rural area where you could ride your bike for miles without seeing another person.
Yep.
Like a lot of people, my favorite season was always summer. It still is, actually, but it's been a while since I lived out in the country, so summer's lost a little bit of its charm. A lot of what made summer so special to me is tied to life in the middle of nowhere. There was something about the warmth, quiet, and emptiness I loved, something I could never find in the city. It's hard to explain, but I just felt so isolated, but in a good way. Like I had my own little corner of the earth, all to myself.
Nice.
Like I could disappear for hours and no one would know.
Oh.
Summer nights were always the best. The darkness added to the feeling of privacy and freedom that the little girl I used to be craved.
GG. Little girl? So this person's a female. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. She's a female. That never ends well.
I was 16 at the time.
16?
I had a friend back then named Taylor.
Taylor?
She was a little more reckless than me.
Okay, so 2 girls.
Always pushing the limits in small ways. One random night in July, we decided to go stargazing. Just us, 2 bikes, and a bottle of wine.
Huh? 2 girls, 16 years old, in a rural farmland area, on bikes, with wine. What could possibly go wrong?
It wasn't the first time we had done something like that.
Not the first time either.
Actually, it's something we did quite often.
Oh.
That is, until what I'm about to tell you happens.
Mm-hmm.
Come to think of it, this was probably one of the last times we went stargazing together. We didn't have a specific plan, just a direction. We wanted to go somewhere new, since the old spots were getting a little repetitive. Taylor said she knew a good spot past the edge of town, some abandoned stretch of farmland where nobody ever would bother us. It was sometime around 10 o'clock when we left. I'm not sure how long we biked, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30, but we didn't stop until we were past anything even remotely civilized.
Man. Who would... Okay, regardless of gender... I mean, no, yeah, gender matters a lot gender does matter a lot in this situation. Because if it was like two teenage boys, you know, at least you and your boy are like more significantly dangerous, right? Two boys on a bike, you guys can be like the predators. But if it's two girls on a bike in the middle of the night, GG. It's dangerous out there, man. What you doing? First of all, you're on a bike, so, you know, any car can catch up with you. You're dead. Second, you two are females, so you're always going to be seen as prey from people. Because you can't defend yourselves. And it's at nighttime. And you're going to the middle of nowhere where you've never been there before. It's pitch black at night. GG. You know? Why would you go to somewhere you don't know? Why would you go somewhere you haven't been there at nighttime? And on bikes. And you two are girls.
At some point, Taylor just stopped her bike abruptly and told me we were here. I wasn't really sure what here meant, since there were no descriptive landmarks around.
Aotearoa, New Zealand, home to half the world's whale species. Seabed mining company Trans-Tasman Resources wants to destroy their home by mining the Taranaki ocean floor. Sign the petition to save the whales.
Shut up.
But it still felt perfect. Wide open field, no buildings, no fences, no cows, just a huge patch of grass and the endless starry sky. We spread out a blanket and popped the cork with the little opener Taylor had somehow remembered to bring. It was some cheap red wine that didn't taste all that good, but it did the job. We laid there for a while, passing the bottle back and forth, pointing out the few constellations we remembered by name. Our goal on nights like this was always the same: try and spot a shooting star. At one point, Taylor asked me if I thought we'd actually see one, and I told her probably not, but to keep looking anyway. They're not as uncommon out in the country where you can see so many stars, but you still have to pay attention. Shooting star or not, though.
You know, I'm gonna keep it real with the girls. That does sound kind of nice. Sitting in the open field at night, looking at the stars. You know, if you're like carefree about it, if you genuinely think there's no danger around, and you genuinely don't know how the world works, that sounds nice. I'm gonna be real. That sounds nice. Sitting on a nice warm field, nighttime, look at the sky, look at the stars, chilling on a blanket. Nothing around you, just chilling. That's nice. But I wouldn't be able to do that because I know how the world works and I know that there's going to be some brokey around nearby. If I ain't got no security guys near me or, you know, a sense of safety, then it's not safe. You know? Unless I got like a whole entire security guard near me or like someone with a strap, I'll be like, okay, that's kind of cool. Let's go look at the stars. Security man's got night vision and he's like looking around and stuff. But the fact that you're two little girls, GG. And you're on unknown land. Probably like the farmer's gonna come up and be like, hey, who's there? Definitely the farm owner. Because you're on private land too, no? And also, I'm pretty sure these girls are probably dippers as well. Just by the fact that, you know, they're drinking red wine and they're biking. They sound they're country girls, so they're dippers.
We were having a great night. The wine was definitely doing its job, and I started feeling myself slipping into drunkenness.
Wow.
It was the kind of night that made you feel like time didn't exist. Kind of like what I was talking about earlier. This isn't super relevant to the story, but it's one of the few things I remember about the night, so I'm going to quickly tell you anyway. There was a very brief moment that felt like a blip in the rhythm of the night. We were leaning back, and Taylor looked at me in this way that made me wonder if she wanted something more than friendship. Growing up, I always had that suspicion about her, but it was never motivated by anything more than curiosity. But that night, it felt a little stronger than I could recall it ever being. I didn't ask, didn't say anything. That kind of thing just wasn't talked about openly where we grew up. And besides, maybe I was just tipsy and reading too into things. Either way, it passed. We laughed about something dumb she said, and then looked up just in time to catch a shooting star streak across the sky.
No way!
If anyone has ever seen a shooting star, they know the uncontrollable reaction it elicits. Like, you just can't help but laugh or shout something out into the night. The two of us giggled, and Taylor told me to make a wish. I don't remember what it was, probably something silly. We leaned back and talked for a few more minutes, our moods a little uplifted from seeing the shooting star. I closed my eyes for a moment, not to fall asleep, just to feel the breeze on my face for a second and settle further into the stillness.
Too carefree.
I swear on my life, my eyes were not closed for more than 5 seconds. But when I opened them, Taylor was gone. Like, gone.
What?
Not just off to pee or fiddling with her phone. She was actually gone, which I could tell from the fact that both she and her bike were nowhere in sight.
What?
Even though mine was still sitting.
Elfriend, she left you. You didn't close this. You did not close your eyes for 5 seconds. You fell asleep. She left you. Elfriend. Hey. She closed her eyes to let the breeze let the breeze hit her face. It was only 5 seconds. Nah, bro. You were asleep. I bet she tried to wake you up. You were knocked out from the alcohol. Elfriend, really just lift you like that? Wow.
Right next to the blanket. I sat up fast, thinking maybe she was messing with me.
No, you fell asleep.
Even after turning a full 360, I couldn't see her.
Elfriend.
In that moment, I felt this unexplainable feeling of fear wash over me.
Yeah.
The empty field I was sitting in suddenly felt suffocating, and the gentle charm of the night was replaced by panic.
Yep.
The stars looked dimmer. That's the part I can't forget. The sky was still there, but it felt off.
It's because you just woke up.
Turned the brightness down or
It's
smeared
because you woke up. You're
The
sleeping.
air felt colder too. Not like it had cooled naturally, but like I stepped into a different version of the same place.
Yeah.
I know I'm not making any sense, but like I said,
It's 'cause you woke
feeling
up.
was unexplainable.
Because you woke up from a
I
dream.
pulled out my phone to check the time. It was 3 a.m. exactly. That timestamp is burned into my memory, and probably will be forever. I had to blink a few times to make sure my mind wasn't playing tricks on me. It hadn't even been midnight just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, so you fell asleep. You didn't close your eyes for 5 seconds. You fell asleep, and your friend is an elf friend. It just left you. That's sad. That's dog.
I kept staring at the time on my phone, wondering if I had somehow fallen asleep.
You did.
I knew I hadn't.
You
but I couldn't
did.
be sure.
You literally did.
Taylor really leave me there all alone though, even if I had fallen asleep? There
Ooh.
was no way.
Yeah,
She wouldn't have done that in a million years.
but she did.
Stood up, spun around, and called her name a bunch of times, but she didn't answer. I didn't know what to think. The only logical explanation was that she had ditched me for some reason.
Dog.
Maybe she'd gotten annoyed or wandered off and left me past.
Let me guess. You fell asleep because you're drunk from the wine. She's like, hey, what's her name? Friend, wake up. Wake up. Shake, shake, shake. Wake up. Hey, wake up. It's getting late. It's past midnight. Come on. And then I'm assuming what? You're probably too heavy or something. She can't carry you. She probably was like, get up. She's knocked out. All right, I'm gonna just go. Bye. And just lift you. That's first of all, elf friend, you know? But maybe she tried every way possible to wake you up, you know? Maybe you were so drunk out of your mind that even slapping you in the face wouldn't wake you up. Then she kind of called on, like, I bet that's what her friend is. I bet Taylor probably tried her best. Probably was like, hey, wake up, wake up. It's getting past nighttime. We gotta go, we gotta go. But you're drunk out of your mind, knocked out. Maybe you're too heavy for her to carry. She tried everything to wake you up. You ain't waking up, bro. And she ain't gonna stay out here all night. But she would, like, at least leave a text. Or, like, nah, still elf friend, though, no matter what. I'm trying to be nice to Taylor, but still elf friend. If she waking up, I would have just called my parents. Or called a parent, you know? Hey, mom, dad. Yeah, my location's over here. Can you come pick us up? Taylor kind of got drunk from alcohol, but I'm not going to be a dog and leave her in the middle of nowhere. And look, maybe we get in trouble for drinking wine underage. Maybe we get in trouble. Maybe we get grounded for a week. But it is what it is. I ain't leaving my friend out here in the middle of nowhere at nighttime, drunk, passed out. What kind of friend is that? Like, you would at least take the in troubleness, you know, take the punishment from your parents. You know, sure, you might get, like, grounded for, like, a month. Reasonable, honestly. But at least you save your friend from not leaving her in the middle of the night. Like, what? What kind of friend is that? Even if you try to wake up your friend, you would still at least take the punishment and get her safe. Nah, I wouldn't even have the heart to just leave her. Even if my friend was, like, knocked out drunk on the middle of nowhere, we wouldn't just leave him. We would, like, you know, take the blame. Be like, yo, try pick him up. Maybe if he's too heavy or something. Like, it is what it is. Can't leave a friend out there like that. But then again, difference between sisterhood and brotherhood. All right, sisterhood is very selfish. All right, Taylor definitely selfish here. Definitely selfish. You know, brotherhood would be like, we died together, men and, you know, arms in arms. Let's go. But sisterhood's kind of like, oh well, I don't want to stay here all night. All right, bye. That's what they'll do though. No joke. All right.
Out, but I couldn't figure out why. We hadn't argued, and the vibe had been good. Really good, honestly. I called her phone a bunch of times too, but those were unanswered as well. After that, I started crying.
What?
You really blame me?
I mean, you are
What else to do? I
Go
got
home.
my bike and started pedaling back towards my house, trying not to panic. That ride felt like it took forever. It was probably the scariest I'd ever felt on a bike.
Fair enough.
I didn't stop until I made it back to my driveway.
Wow.
Completely out of breath and still not understanding what had just happened. I went to sleep immediately. The next day, I texted Taylor first
Plot twist. She left Taylor alone.
thing in the morning, expecting an apology or at least an explanation. But instead, she demanded one from me. She asked me word for word, where the hell did you go last night?
Ooh. I just predicted it, huh?
I told her what I remembered, how I'd woken up alone at 3 a.m. and assumed she'd left me. But then she hit me with the thing that made me send the story in. She said she was the one who had woken up alone at 3 a.m. and I was the one who was gone. She waited for me for over an hour, then biked home angry and confused, assuming I'd gotten annoyed and left her there. According to her, I just vanished, and I was just as convinced the same thing happened in reverse. We went in circles for a bit, trying to piece it together, but nothing added up. Neither of us had memory gaps beyond that moment. Neither of us had texts or calls or anything that could help reconstruct what actually happened. Even though both of us swore.
One person's lying, because that don't make sense. Someone's lying. Either Taylor's lying or you lying. But 100%, let's cut the crap. Okay, it ain't no paranormal, you know, oh my goodness, we both had the same. Nah, one of you guys is lying. One of you lying. No doubt about it. One of you lying. I mean, yeah, let's cut the fantasy crap, all right? One of them's lying. Because I refuse to believe that both of them had the same dream. Oh my goodness, we both had the same dream and y'all left me. No, you left me. Oh my god, there must have been some spooky 3 a.m. No, one of you lying. One of you lying. Who's lying? You know what I mean? 100%. One of them's lying. One of them's lying. You know what have solved the proof though? You said you have devices, right? You got a phone. You would have just recorded it. Recorded it saying, hey, you left me. You left me. Hey, you left me in the field. I'm gonna come get you. In the recording, bike home, send the video over. Where's your video at? You got no evidence. But if both, yeah, so one of them's lying 100%. So let's cut the crap about being mysterious 3 a.m. Same dream style. Okay, one of them's lying 100%. Cut the crap.
Remembering calling each other after waking up, none of those missed calls were in either of our phone logs. Eventually, we dropped it. Or at least, we stopped talking about it. But I think both of us were far more terrified than we wanted to admit. I know I was. For months, I'd find myself lying in bed, looking out my window at the stars and remembering that night. Taylor and I didn't stargaze much after that night. Maybe once or twice. In a sense, things did go back to normal. We continued living our lives, and that was that. But even now, I still have no explanation for anything.
One of you guys were lying. That's literally as simple as that. Oh my god, OMG, I am Taylor from the third story. She told me to text the other day saying that she had shared our story on this channel. I seriously can't believe she remembered that night. It still gives me... You lying too. That's a night I never forget. Thank you, Mr. Nightmare. Guys, I'm not joking. I'm Taylor. Shut up. Dad in the second story continued to listen because he didn't want his son to think he didn't... Remember sitting in a dark room? Okay. I remember sitting in a dark room with my friends getting scared at these stories in the middle of school. Oh, okay. Whatever. Not really scary. Sick and dead to hear. Okay. Ordering a sausage Olive Pizza is scarier. Third story gives me chills. It's not that scary. One of them was lying. One person was lying. Second story was the scariest. Yeah, that one's actually like probably, you know, one of those scenarios where it's like, you know, it is what it is. Third story is the best I've heard in a while. No, it isn't. One of them's lying. It ain't supernatural stuff. Shut up. Man, like, it's not real. A ghost ain't real. Nothing ain't real. One of the girls lying. The person that would probably be the one that's lying the most is the one that said it afterwards. So if you're the one that said the dream first, like if you're the one that said, "Hey, why did you leave me?" Oh no, I don't know. I take that back. Because you could be like rage baiting them. Imagine if you left him and said, "Why'd you leave me?" And he'd be like, "Wait, what? You left me? No, you left me. No, you left me." All right, chat. I was like 1 hour and 30 minutes of Mr. Nightmare. That was pretty. I would say yesterday was a lot better. Okay. Today's one was very mundane. Okay. The hidden camera one was absolutely terrible because all the people's stories there was pretty bad. I'm gonna be real. That's pretty bad. But the summer one's not too bad. So the third night, definitely one of the guys lying. 100%. And then the second one's like, you know, a real case scenario. You know, it is what it is. Check. Yo, I'm pretty sure most of the stories is you just need CCTV cameras. Literally. That's all you need, really. Wait, what was the first one for this? Oh, and the pizza delivery one's just retarded because like that dude's just born to be prey. Yep, alright. That was pretty interesting. Hey. Oh, we did do some lessons though, okay? You know, get one of these if you're for roommate. It depends on the roommate as well, because if it's like your bro, you don't need a locked door, but the fact that you barely talk to your roommate, you know, it's like literally a stranger to him, to you. You might as well just make a little, like, lock it. But again, that guy with that roommate story is just an idiot after all, because he stayed in, like, dumb stuff. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, we have a lot of things to do. We spent like an hour on that. My bad. Okay. Hey, we do have this game here. We do have this simulator. Oh crap, I completely forgot. Dude, that felt so... I completely forgot that we had all those games ready. And Subnautica Below Zero. What am I doing? My bad. Okay. We're gonna try out AkuVac, the demo. Yeah? We're gonna try that today. Like right now. Hey, Mr. Nightmare, man. We're gonna do that tomorrow, dude. It's taking up like an hour and something every stream now, but honestly, I don't mind it. It's pretty good. Alright, lock in chat. Vac suck. Alright. Let's open it up. Yeah. After browsing for like a couple days for like the past week, trying to find something that is close to Parcel Simulator, we found PowerGen Simulator. And it's good. It's good. I think it's like, I mean, it's like similar to Supermarket Simulator. You know, the mechanics are similar, but, you know, it's different. Owning a restaurant. I mean, yeah, it's stressful for the first part, but come on, remember Supermarket Simulator when I was the restocker myself? I remember when I was a stalker, I was stressed out of my mind. And it's just worse over in here. Ugh. What time is it? Man, we went a long time. We did AkuVac, which was, you know, from... That demo was interesting, but it's like kind of like a little fun play thing, thingy-majiggy. You know? PowerGen is like an actual job, like my goodness me. Slime Rancher 2's Pause, Subnautica Below Zero, yeah, that's like a chill game. Oh my goodness. You know what though, chat? I'm thinking we do Below Zero again tonight, but I'll feel better. I'll try to do it again tonight. I think Subnautica is more of a lock-and chill night game. Whew. Do you think there's any more simulator? Nah, we already checked the simulator games. What am I doing? Wow. I think that might be the end of the stream, by the way, chat. Just saying, because we did a lot of work today, alright? We did... today's Mr. Nightmare wasn't that good, I'm gonna be honest, but it's not Mr. Nightmare's fault. It was just the story that wasn't very good. All right. Yeah, we got that new simulator game, man. I mean, there's not much about it. We got to lock in for that tomorrow. Whew. And then, of course, we got Subnautica Below Zero, which is gonna be tonight again. I'm gonna try to do an earlier stream tonight. All right, W stream, man. Thank you, Verse. I hope you enjoyed another simulator game, new series. I appreciate the Prime again. Of course, day one and the most loyal. Basically my only, like, you know, W Versa, man. Hey, that's why he's the mod, the first and mod. All right, and then I appreciate everyone else who was watching the stream today. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed Barista thing. So tomorrow we're gonna do the same thing. All right, and if y'all like to watch Subnautica, yeah, I'll be playing it tonight. That's kind of the schedule for a bit. Not gonna lie, our schedule so far is. Let me look at the thing. I'm Flashbang. GG. Okay, what is it? The 29th, 28th already. Pretty much. This is what we're doing now. Okay, Dredge. We finished Dredge, so now it's gonna be. How do you even spell that game? Brassiasim. We're gonna do that, and Subnautica is usually that, but we kind of did. Yeah, okay. I completely forgot we have Sword of the Sea as well. Holy moly! And we got. I didn't even set up the Xbox yet either. Yeah, no, that's fine. Man, alright. I'm gonna see you guys later tonight, alright? I'll go get the sun and stuff. Alright. Appreciate it, alright? Bye-bye, everybody. See you guys later. Bye-bye.